is Gilgeous-Alexander. McCollum staying with him. Spins, gets inside. Left-handed off the glass. Oh, what a sweet move.
Giddey, tough spot. Backdoor. What a pass. What a play. And JDub picks the pocket of Trae Young. He'll take it himself.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncontested Weekly Show, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. I'm your host on this Wednesday evening, JD Silva. I'm joined by two fellas. The first one being Jacob Niffin.
What's up?
And the second one being Taylor Peterson.
Fellas, I was looking forward to jumping on this podcast and saying, how about those Chiefs? And I kind of hyping up the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, something, just another horrific national tragedy happened yet again today with at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. And I just kind of felt remiss. I mean, again, I was really excited to jump on and do a little, how about those Chiefs? But I felt a little remiss not to hear at the intro, not to mention that I'm just sick and tired of it. Not to get, I understand this can kind of get political, but we're past the point of it being political. Something needs to happen, especially I'm a father now of a son who will be 2 years old here in a couple of weeks. And to see that 9 of those victims were children, it's just, I mean, it brought me to tears at work, quite frankly. And so I just wanted to mention that at the top of the podcast. I understand thoughts and prayers gets way overused, but I am praying for those victims and praying that something changes here in the United States of America. So really excited about the Chiefs Super Bowl, but unfortunately was quickly brought back to reality earlier today.
Very, very well said, Taylor. Very tragic event, obviously. Before we get dug into tonight's show, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating if you have not done so already. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Hang out with us in the live stream during the show. Before we get totally dug into this episode, Jacob, you have an announcement.
Hey, we have very, very, very excited to announce, been in the works for a while now. We have a new podcast sponsor. Shout out to Social Capital. No, I'm not sorry, not Social Capital, Social Order. Social Order. Let's make sure we get that right. You might not know what Social Order is, and that's okay. What you need to know about Social Order is they are the restaurant group that owns both Dave's Hot Chicken and Spark, which are both conveniently located right next to the Paycom Center where the Thunder play their home games. Spark is the burger joint right there on the north end of Scissortail Park, just west of Paycom Center. Dave's Hot Chicken, located right in the heart of Bricktown, right next door to Fuzzy's, right in front of Harkins. I ate Dave's Hot Chicken tonight, Valentine's Day night. My wife said, let's go to Dave's. So we went and ate at Dave's Hot Chicken. Tons of cool things coming up with this new sponsor. We are beyond ecstatic to have them on board. For us, it was important if we got a new sponsor for them to be somebody entrenched in the Oklahoma City community, something that we felt strongly about and wanted to support. I speak for all three of us. When we go to Thunder games, we eat Dave's. And if we're not at Dave's, we're eating Spark.
Yeah.
So it was fit like a glove. We're going to have some live pods, some watch parties, tons of fun stuff coming up. And we have some dedicated segments. You'll hear one of them today. So we are super, super, super excited to be joining up with Dave's Hot Chicken and Spark to bring you guys some awesome content and get your bellies full as you head down to Paycom for the rest of the regular season and dadgummit through the Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
Love
Exciting. Really exciting and super thankful that the Social Order agreed to this with us. I just can't wait. We're going to hype them up later on in the podcast as well. So I guess I'll stop here, but just really exciting news and just a great partnership that really aligns with what we do here at the Uncontested.
People say, what do you believe in? I say, I believe in some goddamn chicken strips. Some hot Nashville hot chicken. And that is who we've got sponsoring the show. Super excited.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I truly love these two places a lot. It's like two of my go-tos when I go downtown for like any reason. So it's close to where the Thunder play, and it's close to my heart. It's phenomenal place to eat. Do you guys want to talk about some basketball?
Let's talk about some basketball.
You want to keep going? I'll let you riff for a while.
Those are the only words I know of that song.
Oh, okay. I think we love that basketball afterwards. But the Thunder, you guys remember last season when the Lakers, I think LeBron broke the scoring record, and the Thunder just kind of pooped all over their parade. The Thunder played party poopers last night as well, as Shaquille O'Neal was getting his jersey retired in Orlando. And the Thunder swiftly and promptly won 127 to 113. Really, really exciting game to watch. There was some spice late in the game I would love to talk about. It was a great viewing experience, I'll say. Two teams, I kind of picture in my head the Magic are a little bit like where the Thunder were last year, kind of figuring out their identity. It's their first year being like competitive, just figuring out how to win in different ways night to night. And the Thunder are one step ahead, and they showed that the entire way. I had a blast watching the game. Taylor, I'll lob this one to you. What was your big takeaway from the 127 to 113 victory over the Magic last night?
I think my big takeaway, and in typical Taylor fashion, my big takeaway kind of touches on all of the big themes that we'll eventually get into. However, my big takeaway was that on national television, the Thunder played a game where I thought that the national viewership, the national viewership was able to kind of see what this team is all about. And what I mean by that is Shea was off to a slow start in the first half, but they got to see Dub step up some there in the first half. They got to see the depth of this team. We saw
at first I thought you were talking about the musical genre dubstep. And I was like, that's interesting. And now I'm going to start picking up a new shirt.
Actually, that is I think we just came up with a really good shirt idea. I think you're on something there, Jacob.
That's the new Euro step.
I love it.
Step.
So I was Shea has kind of been struggling on this season with the nationally televised games, and he was off to another slow start. But I think the national viewership got to kind of see the depth of this team. We saw Isaiah Joe step up and hit 3-point shots. Josh Giddey had a really solid first half, which we'll get into. Aaron Wiggins, they got to see some of those guys, right? And then the third quarter happens. They get to see Shea just absolutely take over and what makes him a MVP caliber player this season.
Taylor, 7 of 7 for 15 points. Is that right?
Third
in
quarter.
That stretch, 6 twos, and then the last one was the step back 3. 7 of 7 in the first, I believe, 5 minutes. There were still 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Shea was 7 of 7 for 15 points.
Well, hey, I'm just throwing this out as like a primer for us to dive into all these themes, because next, the national viewership got to see JDub take over in the fourth quarter dub that we've talked so much about on this podcast, as Thunder fans have been able to watch throughout the season. Dub takes over, and then they both come together in the fourth quarter and just put the nail in the coffin on the Orlando Magic.
Jean.
The defense was much better. The 3-point shooting, obviously this Thunder team is at their best when they're hitting those outside shots and then playing in transition. They did a much better job of that, I feel like, last night, and as well against the Kings in comparison to, like, for example, the Mavericks game that we talked about here earlier in the week. And I just thought it was like the perfect game, the perfect example of what this Thunder team stands for. And I feel like the national viewership kind of got a full sample of what this Thunder team really is this season.
I think that's fair. And going with Shea and JDub as like the big theme takeaway, the world getting introduced to Shea and Dub. For me, though, Silva, the theme of the game was the other guys. Taylor mentioned it. Shea started off like 3 of 11 in that first half. Couldn't really get it going. JDub was playing all right. I thought Chet struggled a little bit early. And it was guys like Lou Dort, who had a hell of a run there in the first quarter. I think it was 2 turnovers. One of them, the Magic were trying to save a ball going out of bounds, and Dort intercepts it at half court and just runs down and jams it. I thought he was great. I thought the bench came in, specifically like Cason Wallace, 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 2 rebounds and an assist. Even though Jang only had 2 points, he had 4 assists. I thought it was some of the most assertive basketball Jang had played. Jay Will came in and splashed 2 big threes in that first half. Aaron Wiggins was his normal Aaron Wiggins. And we've talked a lot about him. And so I have to give flowers when flowers are due. Josh Giddey had a wonderful night. 10, 5, and 5 on 5 of 8 shooting. He was 0 of 3 from 3. The big difference was the Magic put a guard on him. They didn't guard him with a big. They guarded him with someone his size. And this sounds weird, but Josh and the offense are so much more effective when someone guards Josh and not when somebody leaves Josh wide open. Typically, you think if you leave a guy wide open, that's when they're going to be their best. But pressuring Josh and letting him play at a ball screens, letting him play make on a scrambled defense because somebody is like up pressuring him, opened up so much for Josh. So are all the problems solved? No. When we get to the playoffs, do I still think teams are going to put their center on Josh and largely ignore him? Yes, because that's what the evidence has shown you should do if you play against the Thunder. But in that opportunity last night, I thought Josh was really good.
Love that you brought up Dort and Cason Wallace. Those are 2 that I kind of forgot when I originally was kind of going through some of those players. But I love what you brought up about Giddey, Jacob, because that was something that I kind of was thinking as well. I was like, wow, Mark's has done such a great job adjusting and getting Giddey and some of these, getting him in motion off ball and getting him with some of these backdoor cuts. And to your point, bringing him up for screens, off ball screens, even we saw some of that. But I think you nailed it. It's not as much what Mark was doing as much as it was how the Magic were guarding him. And it just opened up so much more for this team. We even saw, we didn't even mention JDub taking like a throat chop. I can't remember who it was. Was it Wendell Carter Jr.?
No, you know who it was.
I'm going, Mo Wagner.
No.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank here.
Jonathan Isaac.
Of course. Going for the throat chop.
Hey, for what it's worth, though, I thought Mo Wagner was going to try to murder somebody last night.
He was
I don't know if that's how he always is, but the dude kind of looked coked out. Like he was going crazy.
He took that Chet
flexing after every play, basically.
But my point is we got to see Josh on ball more with that second unit without JDub in there, and it looked great. And what we saw was Josh going back to what we've seen the past couple of seasons where he's kind of not only being the lead ball handler, but he's pushing the pace in transition, and the Thunder went on a run there. And then JDub did come back in, and the run continued. But I like that you brought all those points up, Jacob. Sorry, Zola. I'll let you talk now.
No, the Magic to me, this is kind of touching on a lot of those things, but specifically Josh, the Magic to me don't yet seem like a team that can take advantage of a weakness like having Josh Giddey out there. We've outlined the weaknesses we've seen in his game thus far against teams like the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, where they know what their game plan, they know what their path to victory is clearly on offense. And they know how to adjust that and work Josh into that to make that path to victory easier to achieve. The Magic didn't seem like that ready to do that to me. That's why they were putting guards on him. They were putting Cole Anthony on him at times. I think if you fast forward this to a year and say Josh is still on the team, I could see them putting maybe Paolo on Josh, letting him roam off, Wendell Carter on Josh, someone like that, even Isaac on Josh and just letting him hang out in the corner. I could see that pretty easily. So it was a fortunate matchup. It felt a little bit to me like the Raptors game, except the guys around him were playing better. Guys struggled a lot in that Raptors game, not so much last night. But like Jacob said earlier, he plays really well when the defense is scrambled, and he got a lot of that in the first because SGA is still a threat, even though he started out, I think he was 3 of 11.
3 of 11, yep.
At half. And Josh fortunately was there to pick up the slack and pass the baton over to a revitalized SGA after halftime who gave Shaq like a extremely good impression, and he was talking him up a ton. I thought the sound mixing was weird on that broadcast, by the way. I couldn't always hear what Shaq was saying for large chunks of it, but I've seen clips played back today that sounded a lot better. and Shaq was gassing him up and saying that the Thunder could reach like the finals or the Western Conference Finals. And man, that three that SGA hit to cap it off. SGA uses threes like as the cherry on top of a good stretch of play or as a door slammer. And it was awesome for him to display that on a national scale.
Hey, don't look now, JD, but the past 15 games, Shea is shooting 42% from three on a little over 3 attempts a game.
Do you want him to take more?
I kind of want him and Dub to both take more.
I do too, because the percentages are so dang high. It's like you just want to see. You just want to see it.
The volume might be too much now that shifting the overall season percentages just becomes too big of a task. But there's a chance that Shea could, I mean, he hasn't taken a ton of threes.
No.
There's a chance that he could flirt with 50, 40, 90.
Shea?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a chance.
I don't know if I want to see each of them take more just because of the way this offense plays and the style play. But that being said, I think the most optimistic thing about those two numbers with Shea and Dub both from three is that when the game does slow down here in the playoffs, and obviously this Thunder team hasn't been playoff tested. We haven't seen them in the playoffs yet. But I think that bodes very well for them when the game slows down and it comes down to some of those ISO individual possessions. We've seen JDub be able to get to his own spot and separate and be able to hit threes. We've obviously have seen Shea do it. We probably see more of it in the playoffs, which is why I don't necessarily want to see more of it like here down the stretch in the regular season. As much as I want to see those numbers just continue to stay the efficiency continue to stay steady.
So Shea is 54.6% from the field, 37.1% from three. That's why getting that number up is going to be hard. And 88.3% from the free throw line. Any guess how many total threes he's taken this season? We're 53 games in.
Yeah. 130?
Taylor, you have a guess?
I'm so bad at this. This is where Nick comes in handy because he's great at
I was told there
Can
would
you
be
give me
no
the
math.
context again? I was replying to fans in the chat.
How many total threes has Shea attempted this season in 53 games?
Did you give context though?
No, that's just
sorry.
what I'm
Okay,
telling
never
you.
mind. Okay, let's go like 140. I'll price is right, Silva.
175.
Okay.
So it's not a huge number.
No.
He
It's a
could
decent
definitely
number though.
pull that percentage up.
It's in his bag. It's like he's reminding everyone in the regular season that it is in his bag so that people still like respect him enough to guard him out there.
For sure. Shifting the conversation real quick. JDub, 17 points in the fourth quarter, goes for 30 plus. Shea and JDub each go for 30 plus in 2 straight games. The last time that happened in Oklahoma City was 2 guys named KD and Russ. That's pretty special. I love that the world got to see JDub last night and what he can do. He was 12 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 33 points. The kid is insane. Like
Insane.
there's been not a lot of people, but there's been some folks that are like, we're hyping JDub too much, or he has the ball too much, or what. Kid is special. He will be an all-star next year. I don't see how he wouldn't be. The size, the strength, the way he scores. And, my favorite play of the night was probably the baseline cut where Shea found him for the reversed and one, because it just shows the variety of his game. You want to sag off a little bit, he's going to hit the step back 3. You want to pressure him, he's going to blow by you and get to the rim. You want to contest at the rim? I mean, he went through Cole Anthony's freaking chest and finished, and it should have been an and one.
You want to contest at the rim? He can pull up in the mid range.
The midi is disgusting. You force the ball out of his hands, he knows exactly when to cut. He can play without he's awesome, dude. He is awesome.
You mentioned Shea potentially being able to be a 50, 40, 90 player. And I believe, this is off the top of my head, I could be incorrect here. The only 50, 40, 90 player that the Thunder have had is Kevin Durant.
That's correct.
This season, JDub, 54, 45, 81%.
Yeah. The free throws I don't
right
think are going to get there, but he's dumb, dude. Just turned 22.
One thing that really stood out to me, of course, StatMuse, they always have the crazy stats that they throw out. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're they exaggerate a little bit. But something that stood out to me, the highest 3-point percentage by quarter this season on a minimum of 30 3-point attempts. JDub leads the league in the fourth quarter at 58.3% from three in the fourth. And obviously, we could dive even deeper and just talk about his overall percentages and the scoring as a whole in the fourth quarter. But fourth quarter dub is a thing. And when you have him doing that, you bring Shea back in shortly after, midway in the fourth quarter, and they're able to play off each other. I mean, my mind went to some crazy places last night watching that fourth and seeing them both just absolutely take over the second half.
They are very, very special. There's a long runway for both of them. We haven't even talked about Chet Holmgren yet, who I think some people might say didn't have the best night. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks. Just phenomenal rim protection again. He's been great. I thought top to bottom last night, Taylor, there wasn't really a guy that played that I thought they didn't play that great. Like, everyone was really good.
I'm glad you brought up Chet. Obviously, coming off the Wemby triple-double with 10 blocks. And it seemed like Chet was on a bit of a mission there with those 5 blocks. I think he, yet again, had another block that he probably could have had 6, but another one was taken away. But 4-4 from the free throw line just continues to impact the game at a high level. I mean, what was that play there? Was it the third or fourth quarter? It's all blending in now, where JDub just had that absolute ridiculous alley-oop to Chet.
Yeah, that was in the fourth. The play that sticks out to me for Chet, Taylor, was it Cole Anthony drove to the basket? Chet got the block with the right hand. Mo Wagner got the rebound, went up. Chet got him with the left hand, rebounded the ball, pushed in transition, and kicked a dub for a 3.
That's
what do you do?
Everything you want from him.
What do you do? I mean,
everything you want from him.
The dude is just awesome.
It's extremely exciting. And I think one thing, like, moving forward, I think this All-Star break will do a lot of good for Chet to kind of get some legs back under him. He seemed a little tired, but for him to still be able to contribute on both sides of the ball, I mean, it's just it's very exciting. Like I said about Shea and Dub. Silva, I think you're back.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe.
Sound good.
Okay, great. Okay, nice. I think we figured this out. We good? You guys can hear me?
Yep. All good. All good.
Excellent.
Silva, you have any other thoughts on the Magic game?
Any more thoughts? I like that SGA told them all to go home.
That was
incredible. My gosh, we didn't even talk about that.
That little baseline midi pull up after he lost Paulo, just yelling "Go home." Big week for our guy Shea. Cooked in Orlando, cooked against Sacramento, got married today, starting in the All-Star game on Sunday. Big week for our guy. If you guys didn't see, Shea announced via Instagram that he and longtime girlfriend Haley, I believe her name is Haley Summers, are getting married. He also had announced a while back on Instagram that they're having a child. And friend of the podcast, oh my gosh, who was it that tweeted it? I'm forgetting who it was. Somebody tweeted. I said friend of the podcast, and I'm not going to remember who even tweeted it. Said that the due date for Shea and Haley's child is in April, which is right before the playoffs.
Oh boy.
Dad strength Shea going into the playoffs, folks. Watch out. Watch out. That's all I got for the Magic. I don't have anything else.
It was just great. Like I said, I thought it was the perfect example of what this Thunder team has stood for the entirety of the season. And for the national audience to get to see that made me very happy.
JD, are you still here?
Yes, I think I am.
Okay.
I think I am still here. You're.
I was scared I was going to be the one with technical difficulties when I
Nope.
signed on. It was glitching. You're good. You're back.
Yes, it's me all of a sudden. So yeah, let's take our first break of the night, and we'll be right back. And we're back from that break, and we're here with something new. It's time for the Spark OKC Spark of the Week segment. Spark joy at Scissortail Park's family-friendly joint, Spark. Dive into their menu of burgers, bites, and cold delights. Don't skip the must-try BLC burger, pink fries, frozen peach club special, and rotating custard flavor of the month. Located directly west of the Paycom Center, Spark is the best spot to hit before or after a Thunder game. We all know 2 scoops or even 3 scoops of custard is better than 1, so be on the lookout for Spark number 2 and 3 coming to Chisholm Creek and Nichols Hills later this spring and summer. Now we're going to pick our Spark of the Week, which we're going to do every Wednesday. We're going to pick a player or moment that gave the Thunder an extra spark this past week.
Before we pick our player or moment that sparked the week, Spark is like one of the best spots in OKC. If you haven't had it yet, you need to go try it. Again, it's on the north side of Scissortail Park, just west of Paycom. If you are headed to a game, it's the easiest place to stop and get a meal. Burgers are phenomenal. Silva, I know you're a big fan of the fries with the special sauce.
Yes.
Pink sauce.
Yeah, I recommend those fries too. Everyone I know that I tell to go there, get the pink fries. They're so good. I don't know what it is that goes on there, but I have to have it every time. And for a while, we girlfriend and I tried to share one. I don't allow that anymore. It's gotta have my own. Sorry.
I work right down the street downtown, and it's like one of my go-to spots on Thursdays. I love going down, getting the burger, like you mentioned, the special pink fries. It doesn't get much better than that. And then, honestly, I also tend to walk down with some coworkers into Bricktown. We hit up Fuzzies, and we also hit up Dave's Hot Chicken. Just some great spots there downtown. And like we mentioned, very close to the Paycom Center. Perfect for a pregame meal.
And with more Spark locations coming, doesn't matter where you're at in the city, Nichols Hills and Chisholm Creek, you got a chance to hit up Spark wherever you're at in the city. Gentlemen, the Thunder's Spark of the Week. As Silva mentioned, this is a play, a moment, a player, something that sparked the team, sparked a conversation, sparked some excitement. JD, what's the Spark of the Week?
Well, Jacob, it's none other than JDub. And I would say JDub's fourth quarter takeover. That was the Spark of the Week for me. Scored 30 in back-to-back games, I believe. Was phenomenal. Phenomenal player. Helped the Thunder get into the All-Star break healthily and steadily.
It's hard to disagree with JDub. I'm with you 110%. That is my Spark of the Week as well. You look at his last 5 games, which goes past this past week. 20 points, January 29th, 26, February 6th. February 10th, he had a little bit of an off game with 9, but then rebounds, obviously, no pun intended, with the past 2 games of 32 points and 33. And you look at the shooting splits, not even the shooting splits, just his efficiency. 65% February 11th against the Kings, 66.7% from the floor last night. Just absolutely insane. And both those games, 50% from 3 on 4 attempts February 11th against the Kings and 6 3-point attempts last night against the Magic. I mean, he has just been doing a little bit of all of it. Extremely exciting stuff from JDub.
That Kings game, 32 8 and 9. Flirted with the trip dub. Like, just an insane. I don't know what you do with the guy. Like, we just mentioned this. I really don't know what you do with the guy. He's so freaking good. The size, the skill, the strength, the agility, the athleticism. I mean, JD, I'm kind of at a loss for words. Like,
Yeah.
he and Shea are combining for 60 apiece. Or no, I'm sorry, not 60 apiece. 60 combined. 60 apiece would be absurd. 60 combined.
Yeah.
And just, it's also kind of funny. Both of these games were 127 to 113. These past two. Exact same score versus the Kings and the Magic, which is just kind of wild. Also, you played the Kings and then the Magic. There needs to be like a team called the Dragons that they play next, or the Dwarves, or the Hobbits. Like,
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
we got a bit of a theme going on here. I mean,
Hey, I don't know what a clipper is. That could be a fictional creature.
there you go. I think a clipper is a ship or a boat.
It is. It is. But hey, we'll take it.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
I don't know if they win these last two games if they don't have Dub.
No, I totally agree. And I've ran out of superlatives. Even he's in his halfway through his second year, 2/3 of the way through his second year, and I've ran out of superlatives to describe the guy. He's sensational, and I don't know what his ceiling is.
He's 19, 4, and 5 on the season. I already mentioned his splits earlier. Top 2 scorer on the second seed in the West. Top 5 in 3-point percentage this season, which is just absolutely absurd. I believe he still sits up 4th in overall 3-point percentage across the league. First in 3-point percentage in the fourth quarter, like I mentioned. And like we already got into, back-to-back 30-point games. We are seeing Dub ascend before our very eyes. And I just cannot wait to see him in that Rising Stars game. Also can't wait to see him after the All-Star break and just kind of see what this looks like as he gets into the playoffs. First time we'll see Dub in the playoffs, Jacob, and it'll be fascinating.
First time we'll see a lot of these guys in the playoffs. It's going to be awesome.
Great point. Very great point.
Speaking of the spark of the week, we asked those of you in the chat what your spark of the week was. If you haven't dropped it in already, go ahead and do so. Taylor, some of the big ones are the go home comment. A lot of people had that as their spark of the week. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that obviously was huge because, like we mentioned, Shea had a pretty poor first half, and for him to be able to bounce back from that like he did, absolutely just take over in the third quarter and then be able to continue that in the fourth, even when Dub was playing like he was, and then being able to play off one another. I love it. Go home. Big spark.
Our guy, Carrie, said he watched the game with some of his elementary level students last night. Today, they've all been saying go home, which is incredible. Ooh, here we go. Meek Leak says his spark of the week is Trey Mann and Micic crushing it on the Hornets. Trey has gotten his opportunity. He's made the most of it. The Hornets 3-0 since the trade. Our guy Trey Mann starting, playing like 26, 27 minutes a game.
Thunder culture, baby.
Tonight.
Had a great night tonight. Flirted with another triple-double. That's the second night in a row Trey has flirted with a triple-double.
With more points. He was 21, had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists on 7 of 13 shooting, 4 of 5 from 3. He's playmaking. He's obviously, we already have seen that signature Trey Mann step back, the ridiculous shin angles, like on some of those crossovers and step backs that he has. He's been incredible. But to Meek's point, Micic also continues to play really well. Another solid game from him, 13 points, 5 assists, 4 of 9 from the field. Great stuff from 2 former Thunder players with a bigger role.
Lastly, Connor B says his spark of the week is Cason Wallace. Dude continues to impress. JD, what do you think about this one?
I love it. Love it. And he has been getting, there's some nights where he'll only get like 10, 12, 13 minutes for a game, but I still like what I'm seeing. Like I still really like everything that he provides. He comes in and he plays his ass off and just kind of wreaks havoc on opposing guards. And I think
great defender. Great defender. And I feel like he's finally starting to expand the offensive game a bit. the Euro into the lob to JDub last night against the Magic was
So nice.
ridiculous. The 3-point stroke continues to be there. He has been awesome from three. Really all season, right? I'm pulling up his stats real quick. I wanted to share his shooting splits. He's only 7 points a game, but 50% from the field, 41% from three on 3 attempts a game. Does not get to the line very frequently, but it's 85% when he is there. 2 rebounds, 1.5 assists, nearly a steal a game, playing an average of 20.7 minutes. He's been awesome.
Does playing with JDub, it just sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Like you throw him lobs, he'll throw you lobs. Was it last game where he threw Chet a lob that Chet finished in reverse?
Yeah, it was that Orlando game, I believe.
Yeah.
Chet kind of hung in the air.
Like a lot of fun.
Popped it in. It was dope.
Yeah. There's also JDub today on, I don't know if you saw his antics on Twitter. A Magic fan said it was corny that he called himself Dub recently. And that was like the last time the Magic, when they came to OKC. And then JDub replied today, making fun of it essentially. And that Magic fan quote tweeted it and said, they said, "You will rue this day." The Magic account said that.
And then Dub responded to him again and
he
just
responded to him again
absolutely
and said, "I'll rue the day for having a nickname."
The best part of that was Dub bookmarked that tweet from like a month ago.
Oh yeah.
He was ready.
He could come back to it.
Yeah,
I
He
love
was
it.
ready. I do too. Hey, in the Magic's defense, Paulo came out with a huge game on the second night of the back-to-back against the Knicks. Obviously saw a little bit of that. Is Dub the best player in that draft, et cetera, et cetera. He obviously saw that as well. So something to monitor. Maybe we have a little bit of a rivalry brewing.
It is. There's several brewing. There's like the Mavericks one. There's this Orlando one. Houston obviously is one. I don't know if the players, if there's.
Hey,
that
shout out to the
animosity.
Houston Rockets losing to the Memphis Grizzlies, who I might be able to start for. There are so few bodies on that roster. That pick gets better and better. Gentlemen, when we get back from the All-Star break, the Thunder have 2 games back-to-back against the Rockets. They got to go win those games.
They gotta
go win those games.
last one was
For
rough.
the draft pick compensation, the more games the Rockets lose, the better that pick gets. B, for my sanity.
Do you think the players before that game starts all get in the huddle, put their hands together, and say 1, 2, 3, draft picks before they play the Rockets?
I hope so. Any more thoughts on Spark of the Week?
I don't think so. And it's time to sow what we have reaped. Is that correct? Reap what we have sowed.
Reaped what we have sowed. There you
Sowed what we have reaped.
Nailed it.
It is time for a prediction standing update. We figured we hit this one Wednesday because there is no games the rest of the week. I asked on Sunday for new ideas on how we can make the predictions more spicy. I didn't think of it till today. We should have predicted the All-Star game.
Ooh.
We
That's a
totally
fun one.
missed it. However, we did predict the Orlando game. And we made that one a triple Thunder money ball. That meant if you got the game right, you got 3 points. If you got it wrong, you went down 3 points. Put a little more dip on the chip, if you so will. The entire team took the team, as in like the uncontested team, took a win against Orlando, except for the guy in first place getting a little too
cocky.
much dip on the chip, a little too cocky, trying to run up the score. Taylor took the L. The Thunder won anyways. Taylor loses 3 points. The newest standings. Taylor and Justin tied for last place at 27 points.
I was getting a little bored, had to spice things up after being on top of the leaderboard for the entirety of the season. Minor setback for a major comeback.
Jacob squared, JD and I. tied at 29. And Mr. Pessimism himself, Nick Crane, is up to first place with 33 points. Silva, because of that, I think we deserve the JDub sounder.
I think you're right.
Bingo.
That's one of my favorite ones we've ever
What
grabbed.
we've all
Agreed.
learned from this exercise is that if you are more negative in life in general, you will win.
Hey, life lessons with Nick Crane.
Yep.
No predictions the rest of the week. We will get back to them on Sunday. But I do want to remind you all and the listeners what is at stake here. We have a spreadsheet keeping track of every correct and incorrect prediction. At the end of this season, however many games each of us got incorrect, we owe that much money to a pool. We're going to pool all the money together, and we are going to donate it to a nonprofit or a charity. We are also going to challenge our fans, our listeners of the show. Let's say the pool of the 5 uncontested guys comes out to like $200. We're going to challenge the rest of the show, the listeners, to match our contribution of that $200 so we can donate that money to a nonprofit yet to be named. Also, whoever wins at the end of the season, whoever has the most points, the rest of us owe that person a day in Vegas during Summer League, completely paid for. I think we agreed with the exception of alcohol because
We aren't trying to pay for Nick's alcohol until 5
A,
in the
that'll
morning.
get pricey. It'll get very pricey.
It can't be a raunchy day.
B, I don't drink, so that would be unfair if I won and then you guys got off
True.
easy.
Very true.
But we're talking drinks at the Thomas and Mack. We're talking JD, those cinnamon roasted pecans.
Ooh.
Those
The milky buns.
those
We're
dang
talking a
donuts with
milky
the
bun,
the milky buns.
some Taco Bell Cantina. It's gonna be a good time. So
Smoot,
Yes,
Smoot
sir.
is the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Smoot just called out the Taco Bell Cantina. Nick Crane is about to make you all go broke just at the Taco Bell Cantina.
I have
That is
never seen
true.
an individual in my life spend the amount of money Nick Crane spent at Taco Bell Cantina.
2 years in a row.
That
The man
man.
inhales food.
That man, I don't know how he does it.
No.
Hey, I like
Shout
this
out to Nick
too.
Crane.
Our guy Sean. So you all are fronting JD splitting kings at the blackjack table. Yes, the gambling. Throw it in
We
there.
are not paying any money on gambling. Although apparently when we're out in Vegas, we just need to slam the over on the Thunder.
Be a good bet. It'd be a
Gentlemen,
good
they
bet.
need to go 500 basketball the rest of the way to get to 50 wins.
It's insane.
That is dumb. They are 37-17. They are
And-
3 wins away from matching last year's regular season win total. They're going to have that in the first 4 games out of the All-Star break.
Oh, can you repeat that? Did you say they're
They're 3 wins away from matching last season's win total.
That's absurd.
Meek mentions in the chat as well, 7th easiest schedule remaining as
then
far as
some-
when you combine components records.
Something else that comes to mind. This has been said. This isn't an original thought. It's been said all over Twitter. I've seen multiple people tweet it. I've heard on other podcasts, but the infamous Phil Jackson true contenders have 40 wins before 20 losses. And the Thunder are 3 away from making that happen. It's currently sitting at 37-17.
And they get the Rockets, the Wizards, like they get some not great basketball teams coming out of the break. They do have
Crazy.
the Clippers, the first game out of the break, the debut of Gordon Hayward.
Gordon.
We haven't even talked about that yet
Gordon's
on this
gonna make
podcast.
PG look like a little boy.
Yes.
If they win that game and Gordon goes off and that one's in Paycom, maybe the most listened to post-game pod of all time. That is going to
100%.
be absurd. Like,
Yeah.
we are all going to be sipping the juice after that one.
Oh yeah.
pinky out, like sipping the juice. Like you're gonna be getting
The
fancy
Poku
with it.
nectar.
We'll be drinking all sorts of nectar.
Sean
Yeah.
wants us to not forget. I hope he intentionally spelt it this way. Bismacki.
Yes, Bismacki. I love it.
Biombo.
I think Sean just came up with the new nickname.
Bismacki.
But
Don't
for
mind
the
that.
Thunder to be in this position as the third youngest roster in the NBA, and I mentioned this as well, like if you look at the actual rotation pieces and players that are playing in the regular rotation, they're technically like the second youngest in that regard. And here they are at the top of the West. We're talking about them potentially being a 40-20 team. I mean, after the All-Star break, that is just absurd.
We'll dive more into this probably on Sunday's show. But JD, just off the top of your head right now, how many wins are they in the season with?
Oh God, they have what 28 left.
So I was about to
13 and 15 record would get them to 50 wins.
Good Lord, it might be 56 wins,
Jeez.
55 wins.
That's wild. And yeah. I was going to go a little more conservative and say like 53, 54. And even then, like that is significant.
I think they can get to 55. I mean, that's 18 and 10.
Yeah.
That's totally doable, especially with an easier schedule.
And adding pieces to this team. I still have Gordon Hayward to look forward to, like Jacob mentioned.
That's dumb.
It's dumb. Hey, let's take a break. And we're gonna do some more post All-Star break predictions. We'll be right back. Hello, we're back. We're gonna do some predictions for after the All-Star break. We're gonna do players specifically. Do we think they're gonna trend up or down or stay about the same?
You got Sounders for up, down, stay the same?
Do we have sounders for up, down, stay the same?
Well, we have the ding sounder, right? Silva, that's up. We've got the buzzer sounder for down.
Uh-huh.
So
not
you
sure
choose
about-
the middle. What's the middle?
The middle could be, let's see.
This is my favorite part of the podcast, and we put
I love
Silva
just
on the
putting
spot to
yeah.
just go through the sounder library.
How about this?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's perfect.
If I can remember that, these are on different parts of the soundboard. Okay, let's start with.
Smoot has suggested that the fart is down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
Sure, let's do that. Just for the folks at home.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's start with our favorite rookie. Potentially our favorite rookie, Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren had a sensational start, like first third, maybe even more than that, to the season. The clear Rookie of the Year front runner. If you are an EPM guy, he was like top 10 in EPM for a long time, which is like a catch-all stat that a lot of people agree is the best of those, if you value those or not. Slipped a bit, probably because he's tired as hell, guarding opposing centers, guarding dudes that are stronger than him in his rookie year. The shot has slipped a bit. I think he's still shooting, 38% from three at this point in the season?
At right now, he is at 40% from three on 4 attempts a game.
Well,
Technically
good Lord.
39.3.
Yeah. So now he's finally getting some rest. Third of the season left, 28 games. How do we think he's going to trend?
Before we get there, quick game for you guys.
Yes.
I like games.
Chet has played in all 54 games. Can you guess his career high in points?
It was
54.
It was that Warriors game where he hit the game winner in the corner. Did he hit 30 that game? I don't know why I'm thinking that. That
Give
seems
me a
high.
number.
34.
You can't price this right at Taylor. I
No, I'm not. Like, give me 26.
36.
It was
the career
36.
high.
Dang it! Wow, that's actually
What's
way
his
higher
career
than I
high in
thought.
rebounds?
18.
14.
Ooh, 13.
Ooh.
Career
it-
high in
okay,
assists.
like
7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7. I'll
7.
go. Yeah.
7. And then blocks.
Was the career high in points against the Warriors? Was I at least right there?
Let me
sorry, if
see
you
if it'll
don't have it,
tell
okay.
me.
That's all right.
I'm not for sure. 36 against the Warriors in overtime
Oh.
out in Oakland.
I did
Actually,
not
it's not
think he
Oakland,
had
it's actually
that
technically
much.
in San Fran now.
Love it. Love it. Hey, actually, this is the one of the players that we have listed out that I actually did the quote unquote calculations for. Looking at the last 5 games for Chet. We've talked a lot about the brutal month of January. This is his first full season playing in the NBA. The tired legs. We saw him kind of struggle here recently struggle. And taking into consideration all that Chet does on both ends of the floor. But for Chet, he certainly struggled, wasn't playing quite as well as he was earlier in the season with those fresh legs. But over the last 5, without much of a break at all, averaging 16.8 points, 3.2 blocks per game, and 7.6 rebounds per game. If you look at his stats for the entirety of the season, 16.7 points per game. So he's a little under that, but the blocks, he's over 2.6 blocks per game on the season. So he's above that in the last 5. And then the other one I brought up was the rebounding, 7.6 right there. These last 5 games, averaging basically about 8 rebounds per game. I think Chet is going to trend upward. Maybe that's the homer and optimist in me, but he's been playing really well recently. I mentioned him getting a little bit of a break here, get those legs back under him, kind of get, ramped back up for the latter part of the season. I am saying that Chet will be trending up for the latter part of this upcoming season.
Give me staying the same. On one hand, he's tired. There's a scouting report out on him now. Teams know what to expect, how to defend him. On the other half, the other side of that coin, he's getting the All-Star break to get rested, come back for the stretch run. I think Gordon Hayward will be good for him. I think Bismack Biyombo getting some spot minutes here and there will be good for him. I think those two things balance out and he stays about the same.
Really quick interlude here. Our guy Ibrahim mentioned Jacob.
No
I haven't
way.
seen this either. Did you see Denny Avdia's stat line tonight? 43 points, 14 rebounds, 6 made threes. I hadn't seen that.
I just saw
back.
him tweet about it. I told you guys.
Crazy.
I don't know why people don't listen to me.
Good for Denny.
Silva, what do you got for Chet? Up, down, or
I guess that's me. I'm going to say he's going to trend upwards. I really just think that that January, which I think Mark at one point said that was like the 5th busiest January any team has had in the last several seasons. I think that was just bad for him in general. I think that wore him down as a rookie playing the 5. You can call it small ball 5 if you want. I think that was just bad for him. His shots started falling short. He started smoking layups short. I think he just needs the rest. And I think we got Biz Mackey waiting in the wings. Jay Will's playing better. We got
Jay Will's
Gordon
been
up. Yeah, he's been really good. The shot just looks better and better, if I'm being honest with Jay Will.
If you guys think that Chet is going to trend upwards for the rest of the season, we legitimately need to be having Western Conference Finals discussions.
100%.
I know.
Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you look at all the metrics of all the boxes this team has checked, like that is kind of what it's pointing to. Just kind of we have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm going.
People talk about the experience a lot, and I totally get that. This team is mature for how young they are.
Oh yeah.
Like they are very mature. I don't think the playoffs are going to rattle them that much. I don't think they're going to get knocked off their rocker. I don't think the moment's going to be too big. JDub in the post game last night just like has me very encouraged. They were like, what do you guys think about everyone saying like you're too young? But he said, guess we'll see.
Guess we'll see.
God,
that is
damn.
badass.
And then they started barking.
Oh yeah, it's the theme. The dogs.
The dogs.
Hey, listen to the Uncontested earlier in the season when we said they have that dog in them, and they took it.
Let me tell you something. If Shea hits a midi on somebody in a fourth quarter of a playoff game,
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
On the road in game 6 and starts telling people to go home.
Oh God.
Or I'm him.
Just have 911 on speed dial.
Inject
Yeah.
it into my veins. Hey,
Like
and
I'm
again,
going to be on the floor like season up.
I
We gotta
understand we're
move
going
on.
long
We
here.
gotta move on.
I was just going to mention that Dayton as well. I think in a 7-game series, the adjustments that he can make as a young coach, like he's just the perfect coach for this team.
All
Let's
right.
move on to the next one.
Next player.
This
we
is
can
a
go
fun
slightly
one.
fast. We can go slightly faster on the next three because we kind of went into a playoff predictions thing there. But how about Josh Giddey? Obviously, has had a lot of struggles this season on and off the court. And the struggles are continuing. They are continuing. There's not. We kind of thought it'd be a slow start like it was last year. The slow start has just become a slow everything night to night. But what do you guys think about Josh Giddey? Better?
I'll kick us
worse?
off here. We've had, as Justin has dubbed it, the discourse already last week.
Yeah, great discussion.
I am going to say for the rest of the season, Josh Giddey trends up. Few reasons. A, there's not much farther down you can go. So it's hard to trend worse.
True.
B, I'm on record. Like, I think Gordon is going to come in and get a lot of minutes, and it's going to hopefully force Josh into a new, more bench dominant role. Maybe starting that second quarter where he gets to have the ball in his hands a little bit more and be more of an on-ball creator, which benefits him. I think with the addition of Hayward, it's going to allow Josh to be back in a comfortable role, but a smaller capacity. I think his minutes will go down, but I think the position he will be in is going to be much more conducive to his style, thus allowing him to play better. So smaller sample, but more positive results.
I also had up for two of the reasons that Jacob already mentioned. I'm really glad you touched on that. The only other thing I would add, and the reason I'm thinking trending up, is because I have really liked what we have seen from Giddey and the Thunder in general, specifically these last two games heading into the All-Star break, getting him moving off ball more, not just parked in the corner. We saw some of that against the Kings, but especially last night, like moving, cutting, setting those screens, like getting him in that off-ball motion is key to unlocking him on the offensive side of the floor. And then obviously, like Jacob mentioned, I think adding Gordon Hayward into the mix allows Josh to be in a little more opportune role. I think that kind of plays to his strengths in some of these lineups when he's on ball a little more. And I'm curious to see like the rotation tweaks. I think you can even play Dub and Shea a little more together now that we have Hayward coming into the mix, and play him and Josh a little more together, which kind of covers up for some of Giddey's weaknesses, but also will play to his strengths. And so for that reason, all those reasons really, I think we're going to be talking about Josh trending up. Now, disclaimer, that doesn't change my feelings in regards to like what the Thunder and Josh should potentially do in the offseason, what's best for Josh moving forward, what's best for the team moving forward. I still think it's going to be trending up, though, as a whole in comparison to this first part of the season.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just make it 3 in a row here. I for all the reasons you guys already said, I won't stay on this point for too long. I think the situation as a whole is going to get better. I think he's going to play less minutes, and the minutes that he is going to play are going to be more shaped to his skill sets, I hope. And a lot of that is going to be because of Gordon Hayward, I think. A lot of it kind of hinges on Gordon Hayward, honestly. And I think that's why the team added a guy like that, like the similar height, similar build. One of them can shoot. And a better
I think Gordon
defense.
fits so much what they want to do, man.
Right. He does. It's just like, will his body hold up? I hope so, because he's not going to be playing 30-plus minutes a game, I don't think, at least not till the playoffs. If the playoffs demand it, I can see him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for that, honestly. I'm really, really excited for his addition, because he's going to be, the 4th option, 5th option if he's on the court with those other guys.
Agreed.
That's great. All right. Next guy, I don't know how long we'll spend on this. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP candidate.
You get to start us this time, JD.
Oh, I don't know how he can ascend higher than he already has.
I was about to do that.
Yeah.
Jacob and I were on the same
Um,
wavelength.
I guess I'm gonna do staying the same because he's like second in the Bontemps MVP straw poll. He is like a top 2 player in the NBA this season. This season he's having a top 2 season of any player. Jacob, your take of SGA making an all defense team from like the first fifth of this season, whenever we had that, it's looking like it could probably happen. He's awesome. You got Nikias Duncan on Twitter saying he is having a better defensive season than Giannis.
Yeah.
Put it in the veins.
Good
baby.
stuff.
Yeah.
JD, I'm with you. I'm going to stay the same. Just because it's hard to see him getting. How do you get better?
I don't know.
But I was thinking about this today. Do we really think year 26, like age 26 season Shai, is worse than age 25 Shai? Theoretically, his next 2, 3, 4 years should be continuing the climb before he hits 30 and gets on the downslope or at the peak. If he comes back next year better, which if you just asked people, hey, should an NBA player get better from age 25 to 26? The answer is yes. If that somehow comes to fruition, I mean,
He'll be a religious
it's
figure.
Absurd.
yeah.
But it could be incremental
I'm
as
going to
well.
get a picture of Shai, but as the Virgin Mary tattooed on my chest.
You heard it here first. Make sure he sticks to that, listeners. I also have the same. The only reason I was a little
Shai will be opened arms, and I'll have a little speech bubble that says, "Can you take me?"
I thought you were gonna say I'm him.
Go home.
Go home.
Go.
I had that as well. The only reason I was torn is because, and again, I'm really drinking the Kool-Aid here, getting very excited, but I'm thinking about the playoffs. And I think we could see Shai ascend to a new level in the playoffs as well. Like I mentioned earlier, when it comes down to a little more of ISO possessions, and I think Shai could just absolutely take over a playoff game. But I'm with y'all. We'll go with stay the same.
All right. We can have this next one be our last guy. We're kind of doing the 4 most talked about players, I guess. Last one, Jalen JDub Williams. Taylor, you want to go first?
Yeah, I have higher Jacob for those in the stream. For those not on the stream listening to the podcast, he's going higher as well with the finger point. I agree with that solely because of what we've do what. Oh yeah,
you're lucky. That's the finger I chose.
The pointer finger. The pointer finger. I should clarify because of what we've seen these past couple of games. I think we see that level of dub in comparison to what he's been averaging for the season, which I think I said earlier was like 16
if
points.
He comes out the second half of the season scoring 30 points a game, Taylor.
Oh, yeah. We're championship. Go ahead and play in the parade. I'm not saying he's going to average 30. I just think he's found a new level, he's a little more comfortable, and him and Shai just continue to gel so well there together and play off one another so well. I'm going higher because of those reasons.
He's a second-year guy. He's getting better. It's going to continue to get better.
Yeah, not much else to add there for myself. I think the season started, and I kind of thought Chet was the second best player on the team. This doesn't matter, obviously, but I was like, oh, Chet's like insanely good. He's probably the second best player on the team. JDub, also very good still. A close third behind that. As Chet has kind of dipped with fatigue, JDub has just ascended and ascended and ascended. And he is sensational, as we talked about for the first half hour of this one. He's unbelievable, and I think he's going to keep doing that. And I think his game is suited pretty well for the playoffs, too.
Oh, yeah. Tough, strong, can ISO score.
I can't wait.
That's why he was our Spark of the Week, baby.
Spark of the Week, baby.
And playoffs will be live afterwards at Dave's or Sparks. I'm getting very excited.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight before we get out of here?
All-Star break coming up.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Houston just lost to the corpse of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Uh-oh.
Thunder are going to be well represented this weekend.
Mhm.
Looking forward to the Rising Stars game and obviously Shea in the All-Star game. Kawhi Leonard hurt.
Bring JDub to the All-Star.
J-Dub
Yeah, I
in.
mean, look, it makes all the sense in the world to have one of the Kings players do it, but it's last minute. Silver's all about like
They'd bring in Sabonis, who deserves
They
it,
would.
but
He does
JDub's been
if he
awesome.
already has plans.
Already booked the flight.
That's right.
No
Celtics-
way he can afford missing that flight. 0% chance Demonis Sabonis has the money to miss a flight.
The
No.
bonus that he would get for making that. Yeah. Good point.
Celtics beat the Nets by 50. It's a good thing the Nets, they don't own their pick. They don't own their pick, so it doesn't matter that they stink. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right, we can get out of here. We're back on Sunday. Hey, when? This is a dumb question. All-Star festivities.
Friday,
When do they
Saturday,
start?
Sunday.
Nice.
We'll go live at 9 on Sunday as normal, even if the All-Star game is still on. We will cover Shea winning All-Star MVP live on the show.
That would be insane. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us in the live stream. Thanks for listening afterwards. Thank you to Social Order, of course, for the wonderful partnership. We love Spark. We love Dave's.
Hey, another special segment coming Sunday, so make sure to tune in.
Yes, that'll be a blast. All right. Until next time, adios and thunder up.